Hello, hello. Welcome to our home. I'm Melinda Patterson, and this is Essence Tabletalk, a television program that Kimberly and I are hosting. Hi, Kimberly.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm
Awesome.
great. And we have a spectacular program today.
You have two wonderful guests today.
Yes, yes. And in a minute, you will tell us all about it and
Yes.
introduce them. Well, Essence Table Talk is a television program that is going to educate you. It's going to teach you. It's going to tell you. It's going to show you things that might change your life or someone that you care about. So please, Kimberly, go ahead. Do your thing.
So we have two wonderful guests today. They're special guests and going to talk about a wonderful topic. Susan Patterson, who is the director of Through God's Grace Ministry. And we have Angels of Hope Ministry, Quiana and Cullum, and she's going to be talking also about our topic. And they're going to give us awareness about the fastest growing form of cyber exploitation. Oh my goodness, it's a tough topic to talk about for a lot of people, and the main thing is sextortion, and that's what we're going to talk about. And you're going to give us more information and insight on what that is, because people don't know. They
You're right
really
about
don't
that.
understand.
No.
They don't understand.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. I can only guess. So
Right. So if you can just explain that to the audience, and that would be so grateful.
So what sextortion is when, the context we're using it, is when young children, teenagers or tweens are tricked
Yes.
into sending either a pedophile or a criminal child porn.
Okay.
And like that. And the way it happens is this, is that people don't realize it, but the pedophile community has tremendous power because they're in pedophile chat rooms. The FBI
Yes.
just took down one that had 200,000 members.
oh
Wow.
my.
They call themselves Playpen, and what they do is they talk about how to trick kids. They sell each other child porn. They talk about how to become the boyfriend of a single mother, so they have access to her kids. They'll partner up, 3 of them at a time, to sextort a kid, so they keep them up day and
Right.
night and wear them down so they get what they want. So there's 2 groups that are sextorting kids. There's the pedophiles who are going after little children, like 7 years old. I have a friend who told me that the way her best friend found out that their 7-year-old daughter was being sextorted is she tried to commit suicide.
Wow. That's terrible.
So for
So-
the younger children, we can prevent it. We can help prevent it by for parents to read this book, Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, that talks in a very age-appropriate way to little children
Right.
what porn is. It's the parts of the body you cover with the bathing suit. You don't want to take pictures of it. Otherwise,
Right.
these pedophiles will say, "You're so beautiful. Could you take off your T-shirt?"
Right.
A kid doesn't know not to do that unless you tell them.
So
Right.
also, a lot of kids are on their cell phones.
Right.
This is a cell phone generation.
Yes.
So they're on these cell phones, and now I have, even with my grandson, I notice he can be on a video, and all of a sudden something just pops up,
You're right.
and we're like, "What in the world?" Then you can't blame I can't blame my grandson, because it wasn't his fault that it popped up. But these people are really getting into these phones some kind of way.
So how is it that they can get that number to that child? How do they
What
get
they're
the
doing is they're
email
doing
and
it
all this?
through social media. And unfortunately, little children, even 7, 8 years old, are on social media. So the older children, I'm
Tell
talking
me, how do you mean social media? What is
Instagram.
Instagram.
Instagram. So like the teens and tweens, that's a totally different group that are sextorting them. Those are the criminals. So now that we have 5G, criminals in third world countries have what they've done is they enslave their own people, 14-year-old girls, to chat up teen boys. So they get on Instagram and they'll say, "Hey, I'll show you mine. You show me yours."
Yes.
And once the boy has sent them a naked picture, they say, "Okay, if you don't give me $1,000 in the next hour, I'm going to send this picture to all your followers, your Instagram followers." And they're able to do that. And the boy panics
Yes.
and tries to send them money, but that they're not able to send them all the money. They keep after them and after them. And unfortunately, and the FBI has given many notices on this, these teenage boys are committing suicide in under 6 hours.
Because of the shame and the trauma
Exactly.
that is,
Yeah.
putting in them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And we hear it on the news all the time,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know, that the child was actually trafficked.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So you have a book there.
Yes, I talk to pastors. I've been working with churches for over 12 years on how we can prevent sex trafficking, child exploitation, how they protect their youth. And they all told me they wanted a simple handbook. They don't want to read a 500-page
Right.
book. So I wrote a 120-page book on
All right.
what to do, how to do it, and your resources. There's about 30 different resources like this book
Okay.
that they can give to their children's Bible pastor or something, so they don't have to reinvent the wheel or create a program or do any of that. They'll know what to do very easily.
That's step by step.
Exactly.
Thoughts.
How do people at home order this book? How do they get it? Where can they get it?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yes.
Wonderful, faithful Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I'm going to order this book, believe me,
Good.
because it'll help someone. And,
Yes.
you know, I get very active in our church.
Right.
And, you know, I can share it with our social worker, Erica Daniels, you know, because she does a
Beautiful.
lot of counseling.
Right. And in Ecclesia, we have Quiana here, who's working with a lot of all our people in our church, trying to get the information out on human trafficking.
Yes.
And so we have an event coming up.
Yes.
So explain our event that's coming up.
So we have an event coming up on October 12th, and we're actually going to be inviting Ms. Susan Patterson to come and educate the parents and the teachers in our surrounding neighborhoods on the proper ways to educate your children on the dangers of sex trafficking and child exploitation in a child-friendly manner with the books that she has to teach with.
So when is this event going to occur?
It'll be October 12th at 10 a.m. at Ecclesia Christian Fellowship in San Bernardino.
Okay, is there a cost? Is there a fee?
There's no cost, and we will provide breakfast for
Oh.
anyone that's able to come.
Right, that's
Wow.
wonderful.
Yes.
That's a
Sounds
wonderful program. So tell us a little bit, if you don't mind. I'd like to know a little bit about your history.
So we're an outreach. We're under our church, ECF Ecclesia, and we started this ministry to do our role as the church in the fight against human trafficking. So we actually go out and we speak to people who are either they're involved in prostitution, or maybe they're addicted or they're homeless, and we give them the resources that they need to find a better life or to find shelter or to get out of their situation. And then we wait a few weeks. We give phone numbers out so they can contact us. So if they don't want to listen to us today, maybe tomorrow they'll
So how do you
listen.
secretly give this phone number out?
So planting the seed, you know?
Yes.
Planting the seed so
So
that,
yeah, when we're dealing with ladies of the night, we have to be aware that their pimps might be watching them and consider their safety as well as our own.
Absolutely.
So we have these little hand sanitizers, and we put them inside these little keychains, and on the hand sanitizer is a phone number.
great.
And it says, for more sanitizer, call this number, and that number connects it
That is
to
a good connection.
me and some more ladies that are in our ministry.
Wonderful.
So this will not upset the pimp or
Yes.
the so-called owner of these prostitutions.
Yes.
So, but I want to go in deeper though. I want to go into you. I want to know what happened to you. You, I know, have a history. If you don't mind sharing a little bit about what happened to you.
One of the things I was going to bring up about myself and my own story is that age has no discrimination. I know we focus a lot on the children and what happens to children, but I was 36 years old when I was taken away, and I was taken out of state. And for me, it wasn't like a cold-blooded kidnapping and throw her into the back of a trunk. I fell for the girl's story and the manipulation of the girl saying, hey, I've got this friend and he'll help you get your kids back, and he'll help you get an apartment, and he helped me with my kids, and I got my kids back. And I'm like, well, who is this guy? Oh, he's just a really good friend of mine. And you know, when you're desperate and you've been broken as a young girl, anything sounds good. You know, it's like the Pretty Woman story is like in your face, and you're like, it's real, it's really happening. I'm gonna have this this good life. And if this girl believes him, she's a girl, and us sisters, we got to stick together.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Yes.
yeah, it didn't play out that way
She's
at all.
they're very
Yeah.
convincing, aren't
Yeah,
they?
very convincing. Yeah, and she left pretty quick. And then I was taken to Vegas, and it was pretty much me, him, and his mom that were together a lot. Yeah, his mom. And that's a sad tale in itself, because she was a prostitute for many years and beaten by his dad. And so for me to come into that house, it wasn't a problem for either one of them to beat on me or to attack me, you know.
Wow.
Even the mother would beat on you.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
That's very
Yeah.
sad.
it's so
That's very
unfortunate. But somehow, and you know, we're not. This is in church, but I'm gonna say God found you and helped you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we're not in church, but I'm gonna tell you, God found you.
Yes, he did.
So then, when you came out of that experience, that painful experience, you became someone powerful. You became a saint to help others.
Yeah.
And you know, I've heard you speak before, and I'm so proud of the wonderful work.
She's
she
doing
does.
wonderful work.
Yes.
She's out there
you.
in the churches, and her name, you know, Angels of Hope Ministries has really gotten bigger, and a lot of the ministries around us, a lot of the churches around us, they're asking, you know, they're just reaching out to us, and
Yes.
and so you are actually providing them with the information, best information that
Absolutely.
you can provide them
Absolutely.
with.
Thank
Just
Yeah.
your mere presence
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
you know, touch their hearts.
I
And
hope
then
so.
when you associate yourself with a powerful woman like this,
Mhm.
an author
Yes.
who also knows what this is about,
Mhm.
and we're going to teach people at home
Mhm.
that you exist, that this group exists, how they can find help, and then we're going to teach the ones who kind of think they might need to know, and we know that they need to know
Mhm.
So
about these books.
yes, she brought up a really good point, by the way, with regard to women. Is these traffickers know we trust women, right? So for a teenager, you have a girl at high school. She has a lot of bling. She has the latest cell phone. She makes friends with a girl. You know, you like this music group. I like this music group. And then it's 15 minutes, $50. That's their byline.
Wow.
And they get the girl sucked in, and the traffickers know once you get a girl to have sex for money once, it's downhill from there. And meanwhile, the parents,
Mhm.
if this lonely girl, and that's who they look for, girls with low self-esteem, has a new boyfriend, of course they're going to give him the third degree, but a new friend who's a girl, this is great.
Right.
This
Absolutely.
is great. So their guards down. They don't
Right.
even think to
Right.
look further.
Wow, that is so true.
Well, you know, I'm going to share a quick little story here. When I was 16 years old, I was in, my home was such a terrible place. It was such a terrible place. I packed a bag. I had been taking a class for nurse's aide in high school. And I had a little white uniform. I packed it up in a little suitcase. I had saved a few dollars. And I walked from 9th Street, San Bernardino, and Mount Vernon, where we lived. And I walked to the bus stop. Greyhound. Got in the office, and she says, "Where do you want to go?" And I didn't know where I was running away to. I didn't know. And then they said, "Indio." I thought, okay, I'm going to Indio. I went to Indio, and here I arrived in Indio about 10 o'clock at night. And there was a young lady named Kathy, a young, beautiful girl. She kept pouring the coffee, and I kept drinking it and not knowing what I was going to do next. And she said, "We're closing now. Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm waiting for someone to pick me up." And she says, "You're a liar."
Wow.
She said, "You're a liar." She says, "If you stay here or you stay outside, the pimps are waiting for you." She said, "I'm going to get off in a minute. You're coming home with me."
That's nice.
It was nothing but God taking care of her,
Right.
Linda.
Yeah.
Right.
Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to testify to that.
Angel that stepped in. Angel that
And
stepped
Kathy
in.
took me home to this little funky little crazy little dirty apartment. I slept on her little couch. Her and Mama had the bedroom. And I pulled out the little white uniform, took off the patch that said nurse aid in training. And there was a convalescent home down the street. And Kathy had said, Erlinda, you're going to have to make some money. And she said, you walk over there and get a job. And I said, oh, Lord, I've never worked as a nurse's aide. As a child, I picked cotton. As a child, I cleaned farmers' homes. You know, I did those things. And we had just moved to Southern California, and it was horrible. And I'll tell you, it was so interesting. I walked in, and the lady was the director, and her name was Tonkovich. And she said, you can start tonight at 11 o'clock.
Wow, what a blessing.
You're 18, right? I said, yes, I'm 18.
That's good.
So I'm going to tell you, you know, those stories happen. I could have been a prostitute.
Very easily.
Very easily. You know, 10 o'clock at night, you're in India at the bus stop with a little suitcase. Girl, I'm going to tell you, it happens.
Yeah, they're looking for you. They tell me, the runaways have told me that they're, as soon as they get off the bus, they're all over them.
Oh, yeah.
Hungry baby.
Oh my goodness.
And, you know, I'll take care of you, baby. Come with me, baby. They're looking for them. But we know statistically within 48 hours, 1 out of 3 runaways will be approached by a human trafficker.
Yes. Wow.
You know, I know today, I was so blessed,
Absolutely.
you know, because my experience could have been horrible.
It could have
Yes.
been.
Yeah.
Could have
It was
been.
bad enough, but it could have been horrible.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it was, now I look back and I reflect and I said, Lord, thank you. Thank you.
It all worked out. Well, yeah.
But you know, what you all are doing is phenomenal. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I wanted you to tell us more about the AI that you were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about.
One thing that I'm concerned about, and this kind of hit very recently, is these AI apps. Teenage boys know how to use technology,
Yes,
right?
they do.
AI?
Yes, artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
What they're doing is they're taking pictures of the girls who go to their school and they're making videos of them undressing and worse. And this is happening at the grammar school level. So one grammar school, they did it of 50 girls ages 9 through 12. The community was rocked by this scandal. Can you imagine seeing your daughter in the nude, undressing, and, you know, what's worse like that? Everyone saw this because they put it out there. So schools really need to tell parents and let these boys know there's going to be consequences. We're starting school next week, and to let them know because they're all doing it. This is common.
That's scary. It's so scary to send your children to school knowing that this is out there.
So what we need to do is use the scary component that we have
Right.
to
This is true.
create what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you're
That's
creating something powerful in
Yes,
the books
yes,
that
yes.
you're writing.
Right.
You know, what again? Tell me the titles of the book.
The role of the church
Uh-huh.
in ending human trafficking.
I love the title.
So
too.
how can the church help?
Yes.
I have in this book about
What can they do?
35, 40 different ways. but
I know.
I'll
Just
hit
give
some of
us
the high
like
ones.
one.
Just give us a
One,
couple.
yes,
Just
that's one or
Just give
two.
us a couple.
Yes.
We only have a few more minutes.
Yes, right. So obviously we want to prevent, because the fact of the matter is only 1 to 2% of victims are ever rescued. So we want to prevent it from happening. So our youth pastor is key. And educating our youth pastors, I have PowerPoints, I have information like what we've talked about today to make sure it never
Yes.
happens to begin with. That's the most
Right,
important thing a
right.
church can do, and that's very easy to do. And educate their parents.
Because kids will talk to the youth, their youth minister, pastor, before they talk to their own parents.
Yes, they're going to tell their
So-
best friend first. So it's
Right.
interesting because we've seen 12-year-olds prevent their best friend, who's a girl, from becoming a victim, who went and told the mother of this girl because she's getting texts, she's getting all this bling and gifts, and she is totally sucked in. So are all her girlfriends going, "Oh, you're so lucky."
That's the thing to
Oh
do.
my.
But boys see through, right?
Right,
The
right.
deceit of other men, even young boys. So he told them that's very important. The other thing is they could do what her church is doing, is partner with a nonprofit, do street outreach, partner with them, and help, because over half of victims who are rescued return to the life as a victim of sex trafficking because they have a hard time surviving and they don't have a community to be part of, a healthy community. So the church can be that community,
Their
invite
family.
them, right,
Be
to
their
their
family.
singles
Yeah.
groups, help them get a babysitter,
Right.
invite them to their women's groups.
Mhm.
Now they have a community. It's critical. It's
Mhm.
critical. If they have a community part of, they're not going to go back because there's going to be people to help them.
Right.
So that's the other side
Okay.
of it, like
Mhm.
that. It's those two things. And I have lots more, but I know we're running out of time. So.
And this has been really interesting, Kimberly.
It's been great. Yeah, very interesting.
It touches me right here, you know,
Yeah.
it really is.
The awareness alone is just
Yes,
amazing.
yes,
It's good.
yes.
You know, there's so many things out there for, you know, bad things out there for the kids. And
Yeah.
if we're more aware of what's going on, we can help the kids and
And
help
there's
them.
somebody right
Yes.
now walking to the Greyhound Depot,
Mm.
you know,
Like you.
like I was.
Like you did,
And,
right.
you know, will probably not have the luck that I
Mhm,
had, you know, the experience is gonna be ugly.
Mhm.
So they need to, wake up to the fact that this is real.
Mhm.
You know, the families need to wake up and they need to start helping those children.
Almost 2 million children run away in the U.S. every year.
Mm.
90% return home.
Did you say 2 million?
Yes, close to
Wow.
2 million. 1.2 to 1.8. So 90% return home, but the 10% they can't find them. So what's 10% of almost 2 million?
Yeah, yeah.
200,000, right?
That's a lot
so
of children.
whatever,
a lot of
there's
kids.
over 100,000 kids.
Mhm.
So there's one fantastic organization, I love them, and it's in my book, Stand Up for Kids, where they'll get volunteers and churches will help
Mhm,
them, send them volunteers, where they go out in groups to the beach and bus stops
Mhm.
and talk to the runaways, and just very similar to what she does, offer them resources, help them come in, let them know that they're in danger, like Kathy
Right.
did for you.
Mhm.
A phenomenal organization.
That's wonderful, that's wonderful. So we're about to close. So Kimberly, you wanna give us a thought?
Well, I think it's wonderful. I love what you're talking about. I think we should get more involved in the church. Churches get more involved in this. I have young teenagers, you know, grandchildren, and I talk to them often. Especially my granddaughter. She just looks at me like, you know, yeah,
Yeah, you're over the
you're
top.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then my grandson, because it affects the boys too.
Yeah.
And he really,
Yeah.
he's not getting it, but I'm going to continue to talk to them and
Great,
continue.
great.
And maybe I'll get that book and getting you some tips. And I'm going to talk to our youth pastor at our church, at
Good.
Ecclesia,
Good.
and see if we can maybe get you
That's
come in,
wonderful.
get someone to come in, maybe
That's
get
wonderful.
Quiana to actually speak to them, because that's what they need, and get us more involved, because I
Let's
think
get the
we
youth
should.
pastors to come to her event.
That's
It's not
right,
just
that's
teachers.
right.
Right,
They're
So tell us
exactly.
more about
Yes,
your event
yes.
before we close, a little bit.
So, like I said, it's to bring awareness and to teach parents and teachers how to teach the children what to look out for,
Right.
for the dangers that they're in online as far as
Okay.
human
And again, the
traffickers.
date?
October 12th at Ecclesia Christian Fellowship in
That's
San Bernardino.
right?
Yeah,
And what time?
correct. At 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Ah.
10 a.m.
And you
Awesome.
said breakfast is
And
served.
breakfast will be
Oh,
there
free,
and be ready.
We'll try you people.
I love free.
Yes.
Great, great, great.
Free is
And
always
you
good.
being a wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful
thank you.
person, a wonderful author, thank you for being here.
Thank
You
you
know, the
for
book
the
that you've
opportunity.
written is amazing, and the book that you brought in about the children's issues, phenomenal. You know, we have the resources now, and
Yes.
people can actually get the information they need now.
Yes, yes.
And maybe get involved with Ecclesia, you know, and,
Yes,
and see
absolutely.
what you have to offer. Because I know your Pastor Beckley is awesome.
Yes.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, and you
he's
work with
wonderful.
beautiful people, you know,
Yes.
out there.
We have a lot of good
Yeah,
members
it's
who are
wonderful.
out there trying to help.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, Kimberly, we've done a great job, don't you think?
I think so. I think we've done great. Wonderful.
I had
With the help of
fun.
these wonderful ladies right
Yeah,
here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Pleasure.
much. Appreciate
And,
it.
Definitely a
and
pleasure.
we are so happy that you've been here with us.
Mhm.
You know, people at home right now are watching,
Mhm.
and they've learned something.
Yes,
They
that's
have
that's
definitely
what we're here
learned
for.
something.
to teach.
And the information will be, you know, on the screen so that people can attend. I mean, it's a free event and it's going to empower them,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So let's get there. Let's do what we need to do. You know,
Yes.
the viewer,
Mhm.
call, go there,
Mhm.
get help.
Mhm.
Get the book, put it up again one more time. There you go,
Yes,
the role
yes.
of the church in
Ending
in
human
ending
trafficking.
human trafficking. Thank you so much.
so
Thank
much.
you.
You know,
Thank
and
you.
I'm going to close with this thought.
Mhm.
I saw the brochure that you have.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Quiana, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm going to read it real quick before we close. Breaking the barriers of homelessness, addiction, and prostitution. Angels of Hope Ministry. Quiana, thank you so much.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
It's been beautiful. I love your brochure,
Thank you.
and it touches my heart. And I hope you guys at home understand this is reality. This is life. Parents, adults that have children, adults that have grown-ups in their life that need help, wake up, go get some help. I'm Linda Patterson,
Kimberly Anthony,
and
Quiana.
Susan.
thank you, ladies.
Thank you
We've
so
had a
much.
good time.
had a wonderful time.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Linda Patterson. Take care.
Take care.